Welcome to the FDC Group podcast. My name is Michelle Crowley and I'm delighted today to be joined by Alan O'Mahony. Alan is the Agri Manager with FDC Group.
Hi Michelle, how are you?
How are you today?
Yeah, good now. Good.
Thanks for joining us. Alan, in terms of, would you give us a little background of your professional and academic career, please?
Yeah, so I suppose we start with the academics. So I first started my agri education in Clonakilty Ag College. So I did the Green Cert, is probably more commonly known.
Very valuable.
I kind of came out of college when I was 17 and wasn't too sure what to do with myself. So I knew I had to get that done. So I started with that, and that got me level 6 in agri. So from there, CIT came into us one day and they suggested that some of us maybe go and further develop. So I joined CIT and I went into year 2 there and did ag science, and then I did my level 8 degree with WIT. So in my last year then with WIT, I went to careers fair in the WIT campus, and I met a couple of colleagues that are, colleagues of today now, Liam Hennessy being one of them, and Martin Keane, and got chatting to them, and they said to come down and come for an interview, and I did 2 interviews, and I've been with FDC now with 7 years.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Alan, what grasped you about the conversation you had with Liam Hennessy and his colleagues that day?
I guess, to be totally honest, maybe I didn't really know that FDC did ag advisory at the time. I knew that they were accountancy based for farmers, but I wouldn't have known that they were doing the ag advisory piece. So when I found out that, I was interested to meet him again. And then after meeting him down there, it just seemed like a good fit. Yeah, I suppose what we do inside here is kind of common to what I wanted to do with my professional career.
Brilliant, Jan.
Yeah.
You like the look of the culture and the sound of what goes on.
Yeah.
And in terms of your advisory role, could you talk us through that, please?
Yeah, so like I say now, in the last 7 years being an agri advisor with FDC, so that is setting up partnerships with clients, whether that be family partnerships or maybe 2 farmers coming together to farm in unison. It could be farmers going into companies and incorporating and helping with the Department of Agriculture side of that. Then we do all the scheme applications for our clients, so single farm payment, or the BIS as it's known as, derogation, TAMS, grant funding, acres, SCEP. There's just any scheme that a farmer can go into, we do that for our clients. And then your general day-to-day advisory, so any query that they may have, whether it's Department of Agri related or maybe just day-to-day running of the farm, call-outs,
And how many are on your team, Alan?
So there's 10 of us. Yeah,
10 of you.
10 advisors in my area. So I manage the southern area. So including myself, there's 10 permanent agri advisors, and then there's another 2 advisors, and they're more Tipperary Midlands based. So all in all, we've kind of 12 advisors in FDC, and mainly kind of Munster area, kind of developing into Connacht and Leinster as we speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of age profile, Alan, what's your team?
Pretty young, actually. Yeah, pretty young. So I'd be the second oldest at 30. So we're talking kind of an average age of maybe 26, 27. The youngest being kind of 24. Majority of them being kind of 24 to 30, and we've one man is 40. Yeah,
okay. He's the elder lemon.
He's the elder man. But
yeah,
look, it's a young team, but we get on really well. Yeah,
good atmosphere and good culture. Yeah,
super.
Which seems to mirror across the business.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And Alan, it's been a tough year. We're a highly regulated industry. We've had market forces, we've had economic, we've had environmental forces that were out of our control. How do you keep a young team motivated and morale up?
I suppose within our own team, it's just knowing that you're there as a support to the farmers. I suppose one of the maybe bigger challenges is trying to keep the farmers motivated, and I suppose it's tough on them. They don't know. Every 3 months it seems that rules change and something else is enforced. It's confusing, and you're there at the other end of the phone, and you just have to try and learn it before they ring and try and have the answers for them. But generally, as an advisor, when you get into that profession, that's what you want to do. So I don't find it hard to motivate any of the staff to do that. We do regular kind of weekly meetings so that if someone does learn about it, we don't all have to try, and the others will teach the rest of us. And I guess some of us are better at some sections than others, so we try and work it that way too. And then it's really just trying to convey it to the client and hope that they have a better understanding of it before they picked up the phone to us.
Yeah, and optimise the skill set you have within the house. Yeah. And troubleshoot and communication obviously are very important.
And look, at being honest, like if you don't have the answer straight away, you just say it and you come back to them, but you make sure you always come back to them. And I think just the biggest responsibility we have is to always be there to answer the phone to them. Yeah.
And trustworthy and have the right answer rather than give them the quick wrong answer.
Like there's no point in saying something for the sake of saying it. Like if you don't know, you just say it and you'll always come back to them with the answer once you have it. You know, a lot of the time it could be a unique circumstance that they have that might be in the certain terms and conditions of the scheme. So you'll have to send a query and you get that query sent off straight away, and you might have to do a follow-up and eventually you'll get your answer and you'll go back to them with it. They'll appreciate that.
The day you walked into Dara College to start your Green Cert, you didn't envisage that you'd be managing 10 people.
No, I was planning on going home milking cows. So so I did dairy herd management when I first started. So well, I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I said I'd certainly have the opportunity to go home and farm. After that, I was going to wing it. I was only 17. You know, we were quite young when we come out of school, so I just felt it was something I had to do at some point in my career. So I was going to get that out of the way, but no, I didn't plan that. No.
And so FDC turned the tide on you a little bit and developed you and trained you. What kind of support did you get from them to get to where you are today?
Yeah, no, massive. Yeah, huge. So like when I started, there was a team of 4 of us, and one of those was only in the door 3 months ahead of me. So look, we were both learning, but the 2 that were there before us had been there for, I'd say one of them maybe 20 years and the other 10. So like they had the experience to guide us, and to be fair, their door was always open unless they had a client in with them. They were there to answer us, and you need that. Like you come out of college, you don't know how to be an ag advisor really. Like, you know, you've learnt about the agri industry, but it's a different game to be in front of a farmer and have them relying on you to tell them what to do. So like it's invaluable, and it was certainly there.
Yeah, and supporting clients and people that work with you is probably a crucial part of it, in terms of if you think of the derogation and the direction we're going, there's that anxiety about it. And how do you keep abreast of all the different schemes and all the different deadlines? Does that worry you?
It does. It certainly does. I suppose what we've maybe tried to do as this has developed is to try and get certain advisors responsible for certain schemes. I think it's gone to a stage where there's just too many schemes to have maybe 200 clients and be expected to know everything on any given day. Like we're up to maybe 14, 15 different schemes open at any given time. I suppose when I started, there might have been only 5. Like, so to be expected to know that for every single client, it's probably not doable anymore, and you probably need support staff as a senior advisor, and that's what we've started to do inside in FDC, and it really does work. So I guess without that and without the opportunity to get these staff in, we wouldn't be where we are. So it's great.
Yeah. And we might even see more of that specialisation as there's opportunities all the time.
I think we might have to. It's just getting too broad. There's just so much in it now. You just won't keep up with it all. And if you try to keep up with it all, that's where you may make a mistake. So I think we just have to kind of develop and go into this kind of a model maybe, and it's working so far, so we'll probably keep it going.
And with the way the advisory is growing, it's certainly you're doing the fundamentals right, which is fantastic. Give me one of the things that surprised you about the FDC that you weren't expecting when you came into work here.
I guess you never know what kind of advisory maybe you're going to do, so I guess we're quite unique in that I would say we kind of do it all for the client. So what I think works well anyway in FDC is that a client can come to us and they might have, I don't know, maybe a problem with getting a loan or something like that, and it involves a letter from me, and it probably involves the accountant getting up to date tax returns, and then it'll involve one of the advisors that are inside with us that do the banking side of it, and like it's all in house. It's one of those.
Shop.
It is, and I don't think there's too many that maybe can say that. So I guess that's the thing that I didn't know about them before I started, but it really works well that if a client can come in and 3 people can sit down that have 3 specialities in the room with them, and they don't have to go and down the road or maybe 10 miles over the road to meet the next person. We're all there in the one room.
Yeah. It makes doing business with you guys very easy. It does.
And a lot of clients would say so, like, you know.
Yeah, really, and that's obviously contributed to your exponential growth in the last few years.
It certainly helps. I suppose we grow a lot in the agri side by getting referrals from the accountants and so on. So that's a huge help, like that they can refer us on, and maybe, like I say, when I joined, I didn't know we were doing the agri side of it. There's probably people out there that maybe still don't. So like the fact that they're out there telling them about us is a huge help as well. Like, yeah.
Succession is a the big elephant in the room, I guess, when we speak about farming and the next generation.
Yeah.
So you're dealing a lot with partnerships, and what kind of advice are you giving farmers on succession?
Yeah, so look, I suppose we do a good bit on it inside with us, especially the fact that we do the partnerships. It's where you really get that initial chat. I suppose when the farmer comes in and they say that they're one of their young fellas or young girls are of age to join the business, they want to know how do you go about it? What's the initial steps? What are the positives? Maybe the things to watch out for. And then they want to know how can you incorporate all that into the agri piece to I suppose make that person feel like they're involved as much as you can, and give them the responsibility that maybe they desire, as well as how you get them on the system and get the young farmer top-ups and the benefits that it is to have them there as well. So that's generally a call out. So we call to the house. We always ask for the young fella or girl to be there on the day, and we just sit down and we give them a chat for maybe an hour and a half. It could be 2 hours, depending on what's there, and sometimes there might be one child, or it could be more, but it has to be a sit down with all the family members that are going to be involved. Yes. And look, it is beneficial to them, because I suppose there's so much out there as well on the agri piece that they can get from having it, that it can help make up their mind on what way to go as the next step. Like,
they can make that informed decision then, and as you say, you have all the expertise, and the integrity to go with it, which is great. If you have a new grad coming into you, or a new person coming from another business, what are the 3 most important aspects of advisory, in your opinion? Well,
look, I suppose just to have the desire to actually want to give the best advice to the farmers. I suppose it could be very easy for us to go and give every farmer the same bit of information, but you have to take that extra step to get to know them and get to know what's important to them. Have that relationship with your client is definitely important. You're going to be on the phone to them a lot down through the years, and you're going to have them into you, and they feel more valuable if you've taken that extra step to actually understand what they want out of it. And I suppose if you don't do that, you won't know what they're entitled to, maybe out of different schemes, or what schemes that would be important for them to enter, that you can pick up the phone and say, look, this is out here. I think it's something you should look at. So you got to have that desire to actually get to know the people that you're dealing with.
And deal proactively with what's best for them.
Definitely be proactive. You know, you can wait forever for them to pick up the phone, but they might know about something that's out that's new. So, and they'll always look. They mightn't want it, but they'll appreciate that you thought of them always. So that would be probably number 1. After that, that's probably my biggest one. Really, I don't know what else I'd go with, but like just a general, I suppose, desire to actually want to keep up to date on the agri scheme itself, and actually an interest in agriculture and in advisory. And then once you have those basics, everything else you can pick up after.
I've seen a lot of farmers under a lot of pressure in different settings this spring, as you have, I'm sure. And there are days that you might get the the end of their
brunt of it.
Yes, the absolute brunt of it.
Yeah,
I was thinking of a nice way to say that.
Yeah.
And like, so one of your team comes to you, or you feel it yourself. Do you get the support then from FDC to deal with that kind of situation?
Ah, yeah. And to be fair, like, you know, none of them ever really mean it. Do you know, we all have bad days, so I think that's part of the gig as well, is to be there and listen to them. And it's not like they're giving out to me particularly. They're just giving out about how it is at the moment. Like, do you know, there's no badness in it ever really. Like, and there'll be times they'll be annoyed, but yeah, sure, look, you kind of have to park it. Like, you give them the advice, but you don't take it fully on either, because you know that things will improve in time, and you probably have to try and give them a bit of a positive outlook on it as much as you can, without maybe sounding like you're going to annoy them being too positive. But like, you just got to make them maybe realise that maybe it isn't all as bad as it seems on that given day. Yeah,
and that's really important. A bit of perspective, isn't it?
A bit of perspective on it, and then with the staff, the same. Like, look, some of them that are new in, we try not to overburden them at the start with maybe having too many phone calls. Get them to understand what we do first, and then once they understand that and they feel comfortable that they understand it, then we'll get them on the phone. But we'll never put anyone in the firing line of having to answer questions until they really feel like they have the knowledge themselves to go and do it.
Yeah, and that's really important for your client and for your
it's important for both. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, not to overface them.
Yeah.
In terms of challenges and opportunities for the future with the FDC Group and the advisory in particular, what do you see coming down the road?
I would say that we're probably going to expand into different areas of the country. At the moment, we have 2 positions open in kind of the Connacht area. So look, we're probably going to move up to that side of it, and maybe more in the Midlands as well. So, and then there'll be different people managing those areas as well. You know, so like there's potential to get in as an advisor, and then there's potential also to go up the ranks as well. And like I say, like there's no one stopping you in here to do that. I suppose I'm relatively young to be a manager, but I was in early, and they had no reason not to promote. So they did. You know, it definitely is an area or a business that will allow you to proceed. Yeah.
And the great thing about that culture, of course, Alan, is it's been done for you, so you'll do it for your direct reports as well.
Oh, absolutely. Like, so like when I came in, I got that support, so I'd feel like I'd be doing injustice not to give them the same. Yeah. That's you can't buy that culture. But if you were trying to get one of your old college friends or something to come work for FDC, what would you say? How would you describe working for FDC Group? It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So like, no 2 days are the same. It's it's a great place to work. Like, on top of it being a place that you can go up the ladder, you never feel like you don't want to go into the office. We have a lot of, like, I guess because we are all the same age group, we do get on. But even at that, it wouldn't matter what age you'd be inside there. Like, we just seem to always get along pretty well, and even when new people come in, they always seem to fit in very well, and they enjoy it. We seem to retain staff pretty well, so we must be doing something right. Yeah.
Excellent, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Alan O'Mahony, has been an absolute pleasure to deal with you today.
You too. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.